Yet another series that's about to happen and premiere on the Disney Plus platform from Marvel Studios is She-Hulk. And to be honest, just from the title itself, we already know what we're dealing with. But outside of which character is joining the MCU, we're more intrigued about what kind of impact this series will have on the rest of the characters that are already in the MCU, and what kind of a character we'll be dealing with in the future of the MCU. History. She may not be quite known to the public like her cousin Bruce Banner, but in many ways Jennifer Walters seems like the modern concept of Hulk's predecessor, despite being a spin-off character from the original. Being one of the first Gamma heroes to keep her humane side of things despite turning into her peak physical Hulk form, Walters has set the standard for the concept of a fully formed, fully intelligent Hulk who sacrifices none of her strength and power to maintain her core self while hulked out. However, despite her self-control over the mind and body alike, we should mention that it's been known for her to go on a rampage like her cousin, increasing her strength, gaining invulnerability, and uncontrollable berserker fury. Like her cousin, She-Hulk has a long history with the Avengers in the comics and is currently part of the current core roster, while also being put in their crosshairs going on a rampage and the others trying to subdue her. Her endeavors in the Marvel Comics go way beyond being the cousin of Hulk and member of the Avengers. She has also been a recurring member of the Fantastic Four and has even gotten into multiversal, fourth wall-breaking comedy through her occasional associations with the Time Variance Authority, who interestingly enough made their own debut in the MCU with the Loki series a month ago. Now that She-Hulk is coming to the MCU, it seems like this is the perfect time for her, knowing that she has had connections to both the Avengers and the TVA, probably two of the biggest names in the MCU right now, and as well as the Fantastic Four, who are bound to join the MCU, but at a later date in the future, a team which has been already confirmed of joining the MCU as well. Maybe she'll be the heart and soul of a new Avengers team, forming a new group just like her cousin Banner did for the original team. Or maybe even subbing in on the Fantastic Four someday, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Her story in the MCU is just beginning, and she's bound to stay for a long period of time, bringing with her a lot of chaos, but also many connections that will change more aspects of the MCU than we all expect. Yes, she'll be the new kid on the block in the MCU, but her comic book history goes all the way back to 1980 with plenty of twists, turns, and transformations along the way. She-Hulk in the Marvel Universe.
We got trouble.
She-Hulk being a spin-off character may simply mean that she's there to pick up the leftovers of her more famous cousin, the Hulk. But she couldn't be further from the truth. With her balanced Hulk personality, predating Bruce's own incarnation of Professor Hulk, and her history of fourth wall-breaking meta-comedy beating that of Deadpool's by several years, we might get much more than just a spin-off character filling in the blanks. Many of her off-the-wall connections to the Marvel Universe stem from her career as a practicing attorney, a job which gave her a lot of legal defense to numerous heroes, villains, and even cosmic beings over the years. Through the years in the comic books, Walters have been assigned as the prime attorney of the Marvel Universe, not just in the core Marvel 616 reality, but across the entire multiverse. A hint of her making her debut just as the multiverse has been introduced in the MCU, with the Loki series just now. This position of hers puts her in ties with the Time Variance Authority, where she tries to help Hawkeye and change the past, breaking off the rules of the TVA, getting herself on trial for trying to change the past. However, her sentence is commuted and is pardoned from it when she saves TVA agent Mobius M. Mobius from a villain who's attacking the agency. Over the years, her person has gone through some shifts, much like her cousin did. Initially, changing through anger, as Bruce traditionally does, she quickly gained the power to change at will, making her even more dangerous. She also has a grey She-Hulk persona, stronger and more savage than the classic green one, much like Banner's Joe Fixit alter ego. This person has manifested after she suffered from grave injuries at the hands of Thanos, who was tough enough to maim her even while at her strongest, an event after which she managed to gain her self-control and be what she is today. She-Hulk in the MCU.
But it's really difficult to be around people.
Tatiana Maslany's She-Hulk is expected to make her debut in the later stages of 2022, which also means that we don't know much about what to expect from the show itself. Though we do know that Mark Ruffalo is expected to appear as Bruce Banner, the Hulk, while Tim Roth reprising his role of Abomination following the cameo he has in the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This also raises a question whether Tim Roth will reprise his role as Samuel Stearns from the 2008 The Incredible Hulk, as he was last seen with gamma blood dripping onto his face, giving away the fact of his likely transformation into his comic book identity of the leader, Hulk's greatest enemy. Lita's character never came to play, perhaps in part because of issues between Universal Studios and Marvel Studios over the rights to make another Hulk solo movie. Thus, maybe She-Hulk will be the one to continue the storylines of the characters surrounding Bruce's from the 2008 movie, taking on the torch of Hulk's legacy in terms of introducing the leader, as well as being Hulk's successor as the MCU's resident gamma-powered mainstay. If this happens, there will be a lot to talk about in the future, with many changes happening along the way. Along with the potential to bring up and tie long-hanging MCU loose threads, the introduction of She-Hulk may lead to further connections between her and some key franchises that are coming up in the MCU. First ones that come to mind are the future MCU stars, the members of the Fantastic Four, and even though it's a stretch to imagine her replacing a member, it's not out of the question that she'll be appearing alongside them sooner or later. Then there's her connection with the TVA as an attorney, knowing how they've recently joined the MCU and will play a big part in the whole Phase 4, maybe even further. Rumors have spread that speculate Charlie Cox's Daredevil cameo in the series from the Netflix series as Matt Murdock, representing Peter Parker on the legal side of things after his secret identity has been revealed by Mysterio, a reference to their friendship in the comic books. With the possibility of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield making an appearance as variants Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the upcoming movie, given the multiverse and all, and She-Hulk's history with the TVA in the comics, we might also see her getting involved in some way, making a short appearance before the series even hits the Disney+. This should never be out of the question, too. She would be the perfect person for the job if Peter Parker is accused of some kind of multiversal violation by the TVA, and Walters being the perfect person to represent him. A story which could serve as an in-universe vehicle for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, given how he's on a loan from Sony to Marvel and joined the other projects from Sony, their own Spidey-adjacent web of films starring Venom, Morbius, and Kraven, taking part of that universe before finally making his return with the others and being part of MCU's big picture. You can see that there's a lot of details unknown about the She-Hulk character, which brings us to the conclusion that no matter what the case may be, and no matter how she gets introduced, a lot of changes are bound to happen, not only with the characters of the MCU, but the entire MCU itself. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what do you think about the She-Hulk series and the character itself? What role will she be playing in the MCU? And also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.